Hello friends! So in this video I thought I would do three things. I thought I'd show you some art books from my bookshelves. I've been having a lovely rummage around this morning, just flicking through art books, and I just thought I would share the ones that have uplifted me today. And secondly, I thought I'd talk a little bit about sketchbooks and how they have actually really helped me through difficult, challenging times in my life. So a little bit of a sort of personal story. And thirdly, I've just launched a new class called Joy-Filled Flowers. So at the end, I will share a little bit about that class in case you're interested. So I talk a lot about sketchbooks on this channel. I love sketchbooks. I'm very passionate about their use, but I don't think I've ever really spoken about how my sketchbook has really helped and supported me through some quite challenging and difficult times. So I thought I would talk about that in case it's helpful for anyone else. So I wrote a book called Expressive Sketchbooks in 2019, which was all about using sketchbooks to develop creative courage and confidence and skills. But little did I know that the year after that, I would really have to lean on my sketchbook for an escape and for pleasure and for a place to go. At the back end of 2019, my mum died, which was very sad. And then in early 2020, I got COVID and I never got better. I was ill for about... Oh, I didn't think I'd get sad. Okay, pull myself together. And I was ill for years. I didn't think I'd get sad. Right. Oh man. So I was really poorly with long-COVID, and I had probably about 2 to 3 years where it was a real struggle to leave the house. I'd have passages of time where I was in bed or sat on the sofa or really just unwell. My hair fell out, which is why I got all these lovely sparkly hairbands to cover up my bald patches. And so I was in lots of pain. I had a real sort of chronic fatigue reaction. And my sketchbook was really the balm for my soul at this point. So I'd always loved a sketchbook. I'd always thought it was a useful, practical, creative tool. And it was only when I was going through such a tough time, my world became so small. I found it very difficult to leave the house. I found it very difficult to do all the things that brought me joy in life normally. I couldn't really use my studio, but what I could do on good days was sit with my sketchbook quietly and my coloured pencils or my coloured pens and create in my sketchbook. And it was such a gift to have a place to go that wasn't just my bedroom. Felt like I was creating moments of joy, moments of excitement, moments of distraction, moments of connecting with myself, moments of possibly processing what was going on. And it was a real, it brought me so much joy. You know, and I'm still getting better now. Much, much better than I was. So much better than I was. And so I think now that I'm feeling better, I can kind of reflect on, you know, some of the challenges and difficulties, and I can see that there were possibly the seeds of some gifts in there, some wisdom that I wouldn't have learned, I think, without being so unwell. It has really encouraged me to seek moments of joy and to notice them and to curate them and to create them. You know, I think creativity is an important part of the human experience and it can help us through challenging times. So when I was poorly, it's not that I felt creative, so therefore I created. It was more, I didn't feel creative, therefore I created, and that led me somewhere else. I thought I'd show you some art books, and the first one isn't entirely an art book. It is, well, it isn't an art book at all. It is called Small Pleasures by the School of Life. I really enjoy their books. They are somewhat philosophical, thought-provoking, but also quite easy to read. So it says here on the back, so often we exhaust ourselves and the planet in a search for very large pleasures, while all around us lies a wealth of small pleasures, which, if only we paid more attention, could daily bring us solace and joy at little cost and effort. And the philosophy of paying attention, seeking joy, finding moments of joy in our lives is one that really resonates with me. It says here, the pursuit of pleasure is a skill which we need to learn. It's something that we can get better at. So they've got a list of 52 different simple pleasures here, and they're things like grandmothers and stars and a hot bath and children's drawings. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because when I read this section on children's drawings, it made so much sense to me, and I think it might be a helpful thing to share. So they're talking about the pleasure in looking at a children's drawing and why we find them so pleasurable. And it says here, and I'm quoting, pleasure often can be understood as the satisfaction of a need. So what is the need that looking at children's drawings is giving us? And it says, what often touches us in the art of children is a host of qualities that are deeply under threat in our adult lives. Things like glee and delight and drawing for the sake of drawing. It goes on to say, another endearing and psychologically necessary quality of children's art is quite how inaccurate it tends to be. And I loved that. What is sweet in their drawings is the daring lack of interest in getting it right. And this symbolises a delightful freedom from the concern of what others will think. And I just thought, yeah, actually, that is one of the reasons that I really love a sketchbook. It doesn't matter what other people think. But for me, I'm sort of applying it to my own art and my own use of a sketchbook. It says we need more flights of fancy, more innocent trust, more gleeful disregard for expectations. We have forgotten that this is what we even want. And I just thought that was so lovely. We need more flights of fancy. And I think this is one of the things that a sketchbook practice can deliver. It can deliver gleeful delight, where we are creating our own universe of colour. We are creating our own little world for the moment that we are creating in a sketchbook. And this is Small Pleasures by the School of Life, which was published in 2016. So I found in my bookshelf these two catalogues to Gillian Ayres exhibitions. So this is an old catalogue from 1993. And these paintings I just love. I love the work of Gillian Ayres. It's playful, it's complex, it's bold. There's a real physicality to it. It's like she's really got involved with her paintings. Her whole body has got involved in these paintings, and that she's sort of really expressing herself through paint. It feels like she's got something to say. So I was reading an article about her, and it quoted her talking about her art, and she said that her ambition is to make her paintings a complete combination of heart and mind. And I can see that when I look at her paintings. You know, at first glance, you might think that she's not overthinking it, but they're very clever. They're actually very beautiful and very clever compositions. But you can see they're not just from the intellect, they're also from her soul and her heart and her body, I think. So I really love the work of Gillian Ayres. The next book I want to share with you is this catalogue which I bought from the Redfern Gallery online, and it's the catalogue of Florence Hutchings' exhibition which she had at the Redfern Gallery in London a couple of years ago, and the exhibition was called Dressing Room, and it was a combination of paintings and works on paper. And there is something about her work that I just absolutely love. It just really speaks to me. So I was talking about small pleasures and gleeful delight. I feel that her work has got a gleeful delight in it. I feel like she really enjoys making art because it seems to come across in the art that she makes. That's how I read it anyway. There's like a joy in the mundane. She seems to find beauty and joy in really mundane objects of sinks and doors and chairs And her paintings are so fresh and so interesting. And there is a slight naivety, but there's also a really accomplished artist. She's a really accomplished artist. I love her compositions. I love her use of space. I love her colour palette. Basically, I love everything that she does. So good. From the Redfern Gallery in London. Okay, this next book is so niche. It is a history of colour charts. Not a history of colour, no, just a history of colour charts. My lovely brother bought it for me, and it's just a beautiful book. It's a very niche book. It's basically colour samples. For centuries, people have preserved documents containing colour samples, creating a treasure trove for future generations of researchers. So it's got things like a watercolour teaching manual from the 17th century, a 19th century exercise book, flyers that were distributed in shops in 1870. It's a very eclectic book. I mean, it's got things like identifying shades of urine. It's got a colour chart on that from 15th century. But occasionally when I'm looking for some inspiration, some colour inspiration, or looking at how colours might work together, I like to go hunting in unusual places. And there's something about seeing all these different colour charts in one book that just pleases me. Colour Charts, A History by Varichon, and it's published by Princeton Press. And this book is called Bloom, and it's a collection of the works held in the Tate galleries in the UK, all inspired by flowers. It charts all sorts of different artists that have been inspired by flowers. It says here, wonder, joy, and a sense of vitality are something that flowers can bring to any work of art, but they can also serve as signs, symbols, or metaphors for a whole gamut of emotions. They have enormous poetic meaning. And so that's Bloom by Rachel Giles, and it's from Tate Publishing. I am so excited to invite you to my online class, Joy-Filled Flowers. It's a playful mixed media sketchbook class designed to spark creativity, exploration, and most importantly, joy. In this class, we will be letting go of perfection and embracing a loose, expressive, bold way of creating abstract and semi-abstract flowers in our sketchbooks. This class is about creative freedom and how we find ways to loosen up, to trust ourselves, and to tune into our artistic wisdom and instincts. We'll be playing with colour, playing with composition, but it's not just play. I'm also going to share some important artistic wisdom, principles, guidelines, techniques that you can take and apply to your art. The hope is that the knowledge I share with you will make you more confident and intentional in your art making. So it's time to crack open your sketchbook, get experimental, and fill pages with joy-filled flowers.